interview with Chicago Red Stars GM Richard Feuz is full of bonkers soundbites, and I was going to rank them, but my rant on my number one most bonkers soundbite is so long that we're just going to do that one in isolation. And if you're new here, I'm Casey. I talk soccer, mostly women's soccer. Hit the follow button to keep up. This article dropped yesterday. It is from the wonderful Leslie Ryder, who you may know from Gal Pal Sports. It is on The Equalizer. If you're only going to pay for one publication within women's soccer, this is the one I'd pay for. This is Chicago Stars GM Richard Feuz. He started as the GM in 2024. I may be pronouncing his name wrong. I candidly did not look it up. And in an article where he talks about Soccer Donna as a viable place to be checking for market valuations and data. Yes, the Soccer Donna that does these graphics. It also says he wouldn't trade any of his players for the players on the other teams that he recently faced, including Utah, Louisville, and Houston. So you wouldn't want Ali Sentnor, Taylor Flint, any of Houston's defense. Okay. The wildest soundbite and the most troubling sign for anyone who's a Chicago Stars fan was this discussion of Penelope Hawking's transfer last year. Hawking, you'll recall, played for Chicago Stars last year, transferred to Bay FC in the middle of last season. Chicago received $350,000 of transfer funds as a result. Now, you may have been wondering, transfer funds, don't you have to also use them on transfers? No, it turns out that you can take the money you receive and use it on whatever you want, but why would you? Because you only have a certain amount of money you're allowed to spend on transfer funds, so you should use that money for that purpose. But not Chicago. Instead, apparently, the funds from Hawking's transfer were allocated into the club's budget and dispersed to pay for team needs, as well as resources including bringing on more associates and putting together the player space at SeatGeek Stadium. What on earth? This theme continues throughout the entire interview, because when Feuz gets asked in general about the plan, he's like, what does it mean, investment? Investment means that you're going to invest money to get it back. I don't think that spending crazy amounts of money on the market to get players is smart right now. So this man appears to be trying to turn a profit on a sports team in an emerging league, which is not a thing that's really viable, particularly when you look at the rates at transfer markets for women's football players. Like, you're never going to see, like, you got signed somebody on a free and then you transfer them for enough money that it actually, like, markedly impacts your bottom line at the current transfer values. If I'm a Chicago Stars fan, my biggest question here is Richard Feuz going rogue, or is this a directive from owner Laura Ricketts? Does Laura Ricketts want this team to actually have like a profitable balance sheet of sorts? Because that's not a thing that can happen. That's idiotic. And if you are a fan and this is her fault, you all should be calling for this team to be sold, or you should frankly be jumping ship, because this is going to get terrible. If it's just this man going rogue, which would be very funny to me, because then I envision that somebody is reading this interview that came out yesterday and going, what? Hopefully he'll get fired and you can all move on, because you just, this math doesn't math. You can't do this. The way you earn money as a franchise in an emerging league is building up the team's valuation, ideally through marketing and ticket sales, and then you sell the team. Chicago Stars, buckle up. Either way, this is going to be a bumpy ride. And Lauren, I'm glad you got out.